readers.
Good morning, Ms.
All right, so this past week or so, we've all been learning about reading nonfiction books, right?
Yes.
We've been learning about all the different elements within a nonfiction book, like the heading, the contents, the index. What else have you guys been learning about? Okay, you've been learning about cross-checking. What other things about nonfiction books have you been learning to do? You forgot? Okay. Table of contents. There are so many different elements within a nonfiction book, but did you know there's also another element within the story? They're actually on the pages. They're actually on the pages. They're called context words. These are words within the text that are either bolded or underlined. And those words tell you a lot about what you're reading about. So, I'm going to be reading to you today about dolphins because I really, really like dolphins. How many of you like dolphins? Has anyone ever seen a dolphin before? I saw a dolphin before, and it was really cool. They lived in the water. So before I begin reading to you, I'm going to think about the things that I know about dolphins. So I know that they're really nice animals. I know that they swim in the water. Everybody give me a quiet wave. They swim in the water. I know that they have a big hole in their back that gives off water to help them breathe. I know a lot about them, but I think I could learn a lot more about dolphins. So I'm going to read this book, and while we're reading, we're going to learn about the context words. Again, these are words that are bolded or underlined, and when we look at them, they're going to tell us a lot about what we're reading. All right? So I'm going to begin reading, and I want you to follow along with me, okay? All right. Dolphins are friendly and smart animals that always seem to be smiling. Everybody smile. They live in natural bodies of water around the world. Many people confuse dolphins with fish. Dolphins are marine mammals. Oh my gosh, I think I found my first context word. You know how I know that it's a context word? It's underlined. Because it's underlined. And because it's bolded. It's a little bit bigger than the other words on the page. So, what in the world could a marine mammal be? Let me think. So, I'm going to look at my picture first. I see the dolphin. He looks kind of cool. He looks kind of like he's smiling just a little bit. He's in the water. Okay, let me figure that out. So they live in natural bodies of water, right, around the world. Many people confuse dolphins with fish. Dolphins are marine mammals. Mammals. What could a mammal be? Let me think. A mammal, that's kind of like an animal. Does anyone have an idea what a mammal is?
Mammals have hair on them.
Mammals have hair, but does dolphins have hair on them?
No.
Oh, they look kind of shiny and like they would squeak maybe.
That's maybe why it's called a marine mammal.
A marine mammal, exactly. Maybe it's called a marine mammal because it lives in the water and it's an animal. I think that's what my context word is.
What kind of water?
What kind of water? I think we might find that out.
Salt water.
Salt water. Okay.
The ocean.
Well, yeah, I think marine mammals are animals that live in the water. Large tail fin is called flukes. Can anyone point out the context word on this page?
Oh.
Is it this word?
No.
Is it this word?
No.
Is it this word?
Yes.
And turn and talk to your partner about how you know it's a context word.
Because it's
All right, readers. 3, 2, 1. Everyone give me a wave. Everyone give me a wave. A quiet wave. All right, so I heard people say that they know it's a context word because it's underlined, right? Now how can we figure out what this context word means? I'm going to actually reread this sentence, okay? I'm just going to see if I can figure it out. Dolphins have large tail fins called flukes. So the sentence after I reread it said that flukes are what? Large tail fins. So by rereading it, I'm kind of figuring out what the context word is. Okay? So readers, turn and talk to your partner about how I found out what that context word was. Now, we've learned a lot about context words so far, but I want you guys to practice this. How many of you are reading nonfiction books? I just see all of your hands. All of you are reading nonfiction books, right? And maybe you've noticed some context words in your reading. So I'm going to give you all some post-it notes. And while you're reading, I want you to go along and I want you to look and read and find some context words. And then even when you find those words, write them down on a post-it note, okay? So like the word habitat that I just found. I just figured out habitat. So I'm going to use my post-it note, write down habitat, and then I'm going to post it on my page. And then afterwards, I'm going to call you all back to the carpet, and I'm going to ask you, so, what context words did you find? And I want you to tell me how you know that they're a context word. How do we know if it's a context word?
Because it's underlined and it's a little bigger than the other.
Exactly. It's underlined and it's a little bit bigger. So write those context words down, and then we're going to share the context words that we find in our text. Okay? All right. So I'm going to
Snakes are smooth, scaled, slithering predators.
What is a predator?
It's something that kills other animals.
And how did you know that?
That I know that a predator eats animals like a lion does.
Awesome. Great way to find your evidence. Wave. Eyes on me. Lips are sealed. All right. So, readers, while we were going through our nonfiction books, we found a lot of amazing words that helped us understand our story. We also used some strategies like looking at the words, rereading the sentence, looking at the pictures to help us figure out what those tricky words could be, and that could also help us better understand our story. So while you were reading, I asked you to write down some of these words on Post-it notes and stick them on pages. And I noticed that a lot of you found some great words. Some of you did not find any words, and that's okay, but you did learn a lot from reading your book. So, if someone could raise their hand and share if they found a context word or a word that helps them figure out the story. Because I know a lot of you saw some great ones, and I see a lot of Post-it notes. So how about the ones that have your hands raised? Go look in your book and find one of the words that popped out on the page because it was either underlined or bolded.
I got one.
And tell me what the word is and how you figured out what it was. So take a minute to look through and pick a word. And once you have a word, put your thumb up.
Bull.
All right, so I'm going to call on my first person, and when she's speaking, we want to be very attentive to see what she's saying, okay? She found the word skating cat. Show them the word. And what strategy did you use to figure out that that wasn't the word you were looking for?
Because I looked at the pictures to help me.
She looked at the picture to help her figure out that the word was skating cat. The picture had a picture of someone who was skating, and he was on the sidewalk, and it also had arrows pointing. Okay.
I found bull. Right here.
And what is that? What does it say?
Words in the book are
bunch of the context words in his glossary. Those are words that you can find the definitions for in the back. All right, readers. So you guys did a really, really good job of pointing out those words and a really, really good job of trying to figure them out by using strategies like rereading them and like looking at the picture. So whenever you come across one of those words, just kind of look through and try to figure out if you can see what that word means. All right? Thank you so much, readers. Give me a wave.